Hi, Mike with Hiniker Company. Today I want to look at the DB1164 power unit used on all of our straight blades from 1995 through 2009. So let's take a closer look at it. With this power unit, if you're having an issue going left or right, the shuttle valve in this top block might be the issue. If you go to raise your plow and it goes right instead, then it's stuck in the right position. And if you go up and it goes left, it could very well be that the left valve is stuck. An easy way to tell is I've just got a couple nails here. You could use small screwdrivers or a probe, but pushing in on this side should actually push out on the other side. You should be able to move that back and forth. If it doesn't, that means that that little spool valve is stuck. A lot of times you can just get it freed up by just giving it a little bit of a bump. Like that will free that up. It should start working as is. You no longer need to take it apart. But if you do need to disassemble it, we'll walk through those steps now. So we'll begin the disassembly of the power unit here. We'll remove the jam nut. And the spacer. The spacer does have a chamfered edge on the inside that goes towards the coil. And then remove the coil. And at that point, we'll have to remove these set screws to pull the valve stem out. And behind the valve, there is a little cone spring. And then this will be the actual shuttle valve here. So we'll pull that out. This might be stuck. If you've got one there, you might need like a needle nose pliers or something to get a hold of it. But that's the valve here. It's got a little bit of four-sided washer here that goes on there. These are machined to fit this block. So you can't really take one of these out of a different power unit and put it in here. There may be different clearance issues. Clean this with solvent. Don't use a sandpaper or file anything on this. Just clean it with solvent and then reinsert. We'll take a look at the other side here now and show you how to remove the valve and stem from the tank side. On the tank side, the reservoir cap actually is in the way for sliding the coil off like we did on this side. So a little bit different procedure here. First remove the jam nut and the spacer. And like I said, the coil will have interference with the cap. So what we'll have to do now is remove the valve stem, which will unscrew from this block here. Just another thing I just thought of, as I move that, there's a little push rod that's down inside of there. Make sure that you don't lose that. So in order to remove this valve stem now, we'll have to pull the center valve stem right out and leave the block on the center. And then that will come off in one piece. And here's that little push rod that we had talked about. At that point, this block can be removed. That's the disassembling that valve and removing that valve. At that point, you could flush the inside of this out too with a solvent. Don't use brake cleaner on any of the internal parts. On a power unit, it will affect the O-rings. So that's how you take that apart and clean that spool valve up and just reassemble in the reverse order. There are O-rings between this top block and the end head. The lower portion is called an end head. I'll take this top block off and show you the position of those O-rings, and there's two set screws underneath here too that we'll also take a look at if you have one that's leaking between the top block and the end head. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 O-rings. And you'll notice there's set screws. There's a set screw here On this one, some of them actually have 2 set screws plus the locating pins here. If you're having this apart, replacing your O-rings, always pull out either both set screws, or in this case just the one. Wrap Teflon tape around those and then reinsert them. A lot of times that is actually where your leak might be. Instead of your O-rings, it could actually be that the Teflon tape needs to be replaced on that set screw. All right, we'll begin the reassembly process. We'll just make sure we're getting aligned up with our alignment pins. There is an alignment peg on the side of this block. You want that to the side. If you have that issue where it won't go left or right, or if you're trying to go up and it goes left or right, that valve is stuck. So, little tutorial here. Hopefully it helps you diagnose some simple problems. A lot of times, like I said, you can get that valve freed up just by pushing in on either side. You should feel it push out the other way. If you can't and you can't get it freed up, then you do have to take it apart. Hopefully this helps out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.